Okay, so here we are at our power thinking and mini day training for our personal development training. So, what we're going to want to do here is go ahead and open a Word document, and you can do this on paper as well. But let's go ahead and do a Word document for this one. And we're going to call this one Power Thinking. Okay. And what power thinking is, and there's a whole technique to this, and a whole psychology and biology and physical thing to this, and we're going to give you access to that information. But basically, what power thinking is using your right brain hemisphere to visualize a project or something that you want to create, and then writing down the steps and the things that it's going to take to accomplish whatever it is that you want to create. And once we've got a clear vision in our mind of what we're thinking about, and we've written down all these different steps, we're going to organize those steps into different segments. And what that's going to do is increase your productivity tremendously and what you're trying to accomplish. And it's going to take out all the confusion, and it's going to make this process of creating what you want to create a whole lot easier and a whole lot better. So let's go ahead and get started with this. And I think that as we go along, you're going to see how effective and how amazing this training is going to be, this power thinking training. Is this going to be one of the most important trainings in the entire series? Okay, so first off, let's think of a project that we want to create. And I guess for example, let's go with the woodworking business. Say you're into woodworking. All right. What you're going to want to do is visualize in your mind what you want to accomplish with your woodworking project, the end result. And I would imagine with a woodworking project, you're going to want to think about selling things to people, making exchanges with people for money or something for your projects, having maybe a shop that you can work on your stuff with. So maybe visualize working on a shop, in your shop, maybe a little shop somewhere with some tools, and having a little business where you can sell people stuff, sell people your woodworking projects. Maybe you have a platform or a website, which is what we're doing here. So maybe imagine your website and your platform being completed and having a little shop where you make your woodworking tools or your woodworking projects, and where you would distribute them out and ship those to people when they buy them from your website. Or maybe you want a physical place of business where you can make them and then display them in your physical business, your woodworking business. All right. So whatever it is that that you're doing, imagine the end result. And it's the same with science, or whatever teaching, whatever it is you're going to do. You're going to want, for if it's science, you're going to want, maybe a lab that you can work on. And you're going to want, to learn about science. If it's teaching, maybe you're going to want an online classroom. Which is, by the way, one of the things that I highly, highly encourage if you're a teacher, or if teaching's your thing to do. That's something that we could tremendously use these days, is online classrooms and teaching kids. Okay, so whatever it is your project is, let's think of the end result. And that could be a woodworking where you have your shop, and it could be a science where you have your lab. It could be, maybe where if you're into writing, it could be just even your computer and visualizing people buying your work. Okay, so let's start or your books or whatever you're doing. Let's start with woodworking. And by the way, when you get into this, don't expect to visualize everything that's going to be happening all at once. This is going to take some practice to visualize the end result. But do it and just do your best and write some things down. And as the more you do this, the more you're going to add to this, and we're going to show you how to do that. Okay, so don't overthink, but think your end result of what you're going to do. Okay, so as far as woodworking is concerned, now we've done go, and you can pause the video or come back and rewatch this. Maybe watch this video, I would recommend, and then come back and and maybe rewatch it and then do your power thinking. Okay, or watch it, do your power thinking, and then maybe rewatch it to keep practicing. Okay, so as far as woodworking goes, you're going to need tools. Right? You're going to need a shop. You're going to need to learn how. Woodworking projects. Okay? You're going to need to figure out what to create. Now, and as you can see, it's just getting started with this. You're just going to have to put stuff like that. What am I going to create? And that's one of those things they're going to come to you later is, hey, that could be created, or this could be created, and you're going to keep putting it into this. Okay. One of the things that you'll do is you're going to need to go out to people you're going to have to market online. Or how about better yet, create a website. Create a website and market online. You'll have to buy supplies. Obviously, you'll have to buy wood and supplies. Okay. These are just a few examples of things that you're going to want to write down. And make sure to take plenty of time with this when you're doing your power thinking. All right? And set aside a time. Set aside a time where you're going to just think for an hour, even half hour, hour, even, and just take whatever time it takes to to get that visualization in your mind and to put all these down. Okay, and whatever you can think of that you have to do. But for now, take the time it needs to take. But what you're going to want to do is get started is to kind of get a general outline of what you're going to need to do. And this is going to get more and more integrated and as you go along. Okay? So, let's say that you've thought some of these things up. And these are some of the things that you're going to have to do. Maybe you'll have to make phone calls. Okay? And you're going to keep adding things here as you're doing your thinking. So let's go along here and look at some of the things that we put down. First off, you're going to need to get some tools. What that's going to accomplish, what that's going to entail is physically you're going to have to go out and get some tools. Or maybe you're going to have to rummage around your house. You might have to go to a thrift store. You might have to buy new ones. Alright. So let's go ahead and put a 1 by this. Oops, just put a 1. Wow, that looks terrible. Hold on. Let's do it on this side. Okay, let's put a 1 by this. Tools. Okay. You're going to need to find a shop. You're not going to have to physically necessarily go out and find a shop. In this day and age, you might just have to do some research and look on the computer. So let's put a 2 by this. Okay. And let's look at this next one here. Learn how to create woodworking projects. Okay, so you're not looking for tools physically. You're not researching a shop. But you're learning something. You're learning how to create woodworking projects. So you're learning about woodworking. Okay? Let's go back. Let's go down here. Figure out what to create. You're still learning something. So let's put another 3 by that. Because these are now, these two are in the same category. Okay? Go out and talk to people once your projects are created. Now, that kind of goes along with, it could go along with tools if you're going out to create them and to look for some. So let's maybe categorize that together. And maybe you can even tweak that later. Okay, so you're going to go out and talk to people. And maybe you're going out and looking at tools. You could kill 2 birds with 1 stone with that one, I guess. You know what? Let's make a different one for that. Let's put a 4. Because that's more like marketing. Tools would be go physically gathering something, looking for something. Going out and marketing something would be a totally different thing. Maybe a different mindset and talking to people. So let's put a 4 around right by that. There you go. Create a website and market online. Let's put another 4 by that. Okay. Buy wood and supplies. That goes right along with tools. So we're going to put a 1 by that. Make phone calls to suppliers. So we're going to look up here and see if this relates to any of these. Make phone calls to suppliers. We're looking for tools. Setting up a shop. Learn how to create woodworking projects. Figure out what to create. That could go under a 3. Figure out what to create. Almost goes with this. Talk to people, not really. Let's say this goes to more of a research type of thing. So figure out what to create. Go ahead and talk to people. Create a website. Let's just put a 3 by this. You know what? Let's make a new one. Let's put a 5 by it. Because making phone calls to suppliers, that could be a whole different category in and of itself. Making phone calls. You know, setting up meetings. And this is all going to piece together for you guys, you know, on whatever separate thing that you're doing. You know, and I'll do this really quick. Let's say that, well, I guess science almost would be, any of these are going to be very similar. So let's say if you're into science. You're going to have to research science. And, you know, kind of learn about science. Set up a lab. Get supplies. Get the supplies for the lab. Okay. And you're going to have to do different things here to, you know, maybe, I want to say research science. You know, one of the things I'm going to recommend here is research what you're doing and get a good feel for it. Maybe get your website up, get a good feel for it. And then if you want, you can look into school. Of course, you can do whatever you want. But what I'm recommending is to get all this figured out and then look into school. A lot of people think school is the answer, and I kind of went through that, and it's not. This is the answer. I learned through this, and you're getting more out of this in general than a lot of school that you're going to learn. And once you learn this, you might get inspired to go to school. Okay? Something like that. I'm hoping people get inspired to create their own schools. So you could put that on there, but I'm going to take that off. You know, and you're going to look at some of the different things that you're going to need to do here for whatever it is you're doing. You know, speaking of teaching, lectures. And online teaching seminar. Online courses. You know, so you have your courses and your seminars. See what I mean? Research topics. right? And there's going to be different things that you're going to want to do for your different things. You know, maybe I don't know. You know, something like that. You know, set up the lab, set up a periodic table, so you could go in here and maybe put a 2 by both of these. You know, and that, yeah, and that could be 2 things that would go in the same category. Get supplies for the lab. You could put a different number under that because that's a go out and do something. Research science. Put a 1 under that because you're researching something. So you're going to research something, then you're going to set up a lab and a periodic table, and you're going to get supplies for the lab. You're going to go out and get supplies for it. So it's the same here. And you're going to want to categorize all the different things that you're doing. So let's go back into here, this woodworking one. And let's go in here and look at all the ones. There's only 2 of them here. And the more you do this power thinking and get used to it, these will get bigger. And that's exciting too because you'll see why you're going to get more done and create a whole lot exactly what you want to create. This is going to blow you past your peers. Most people are all over the place. And I'm going to show you here how you're going to knock all of these things out and just really put your productivity on top speed and make you really effective. So let's go here and get these tools. Let's get the ones. Tools. Let's copy this. Now, since you're going to get tools, you're going out to buy tools and rounding them up, and you're buying wood and supplies. So what we're going to do is come down here and we're going to call this a physical mini day because you're moving around, right? And you're physically out and doing things. So let's go here and copy this 1. And now you're doing these 2 things at once, right? So you got your tools and you're going out to buy your wood and your supplies. And instead of buying tools and then going to set up your shop and then learning how to create woodworking projects and then figuring out what to create, and then finally doing all these different stuff so you're disjointed and going all over the place, and then coming down here and buying wood and supplies. You've done all these different things. You got your tools and you got your supplies. You've knocked that out. Right? That's all in one place. So you're not all over the place. You know, and imagine if you had other things to do while you're doing your physical buying wood and supplies, getting tools. You could put, you know, get very specific on here and say what tools you're going to buy and add things onto here while you're out physically doing things so you're not wasting your time and all over the place. Okay, so let's take our 2s now. And it looks here like there's only 1. So you're going to go create a shop. You know what, let's put another one on here too. Create projects. Keep adding these. Don't be afraid to add these as you go along if you think of new ones. Okay, so your shop. You're going to set up your shop and you're going to create projects. And what that's going to be, that's kind of related to this, but this is going to be like a physical mini day going out and buying things. You know what? Let's just add these together. Let's take a look at this real quick. Tools, buy wood and supplies. You know what? No. Let's make a different one. Let's call this project Miniday. Okay. So you're going to build your shop on your project, because that's kind of project in and of itself. And then you're going to come in here. In fact, let's create. You can put both, create projects or work on projects, whatever you want to do and feel comfortable. Let's say work on projects. It seems a little clearer. Alright. So you're going to work on projects. So you have your shop to work on and set up, and you're going to work on projects in it. Those are both project mini days because it's both kind of a project. Okay? And maybe we'll get into that in a sec. Let's go back and organize these. Let's move to our threes. Learn how to create woodworking projects and figure out what to create. That you might want to call an education, or even maybe research mini day. Alright. And in that research mini day, you're going to learn how to create woodworking projects and figure out what to create. So you're going to be doing research. You'll probably be getting online and figuring out what to create, maybe buying a course or researching, reading books, whatever it is that you got to learn how to do to create woodworking projects. Alright? And figuring out what to create. Let's go back up. Fours. Go out and talk to people once your projects are created. Create a website and market online. All right. Let's call this a marketing mini day. Right, because you're marketing, you know, and you're going out and talking to people and you're marketing online. I'll tell you what, create a website. Let's cut that out. And put that on creation, because it's kind of a project to create a website. So let's make that a 2 and just kind of separate that. So you work on your shop, you work on your projects, and you're creating a website. That's all kind of a project. Right? Or you could even call it a creation mini day, or whatever you want to do here. We kind of categorize these together. Okay? And you guys will find your own, what works best for you. And this will take a minute to get used to, but I think you're going to really like it, though. It's so beneficial once this is set up and you're working through this, and we're going to show you that too. I think you'll see that once this comes together, which is really soon here. Okay, so we're on number 4, marketing mini days. Oops, let's fix that. Market online, go out and talk to people. Those could be categorized together. Okay. And we have this number 5 here. Make phone calls to suppliers. And phone calls, this is a very interesting thing. Let's go down here. Now you have a phone calls Miniday. And once you're thinking about this, you know, maybe you have to make phone calls, but also set aside time. Depending on where you're at. And the reason I mention this here is because you want to toss all your phone calls into the same Miniday. And the reason why is because you're going to be much more productive this way. Okay, whether you're making phone calls or you have them coming in, you're going to deal with these phone calls and you're going to move them along too if you have other phone calls you're dealing with. Right? But if you have phone calls coming, you want these phone calls in one Miniday. Because if you're working on your marketing or your education or your shop and the stuff you need to do, the physical Minidays, and you get a phone call, well, it's going to cork up your Minidays. So what you could do here is say, hey, I'm not available right now, but call me back between such and such time. Right? And we're going to show you how to do that in a second to categorize these into your schedule. All right, but if you're working on these things and someone calls and it's not an emergency, it's not going to hurt if it goes to voicemail and say, hey, call me back at this and such time. Or I can call you back and leave a message. And this is generally when I take my phone calls. And that saves a lot of distraction from these other Minidays. Okay. So that's now that we've done this, I think you're starting to see what we're looking to do here. Okay, you want to power think everything you can think of. Visualize in your mind the end result and write everything you can think of down here. And then you want to start categorizing these into different Minidays. Okay, so you have a physical Miniday. We have a physical Miniday, where you're going to go get your tools and your supplies. Oops, sorry. Okay, you have a physical Miniday where you're going to get your tools and your supplies and go out and do what you need to do and get your stuff for your project. And you have a project Miniday where you're going to work on your shop, work on your projects, and create your website. And that's kind of a project thing that you're working on. You're going to have an education and a research Miniday. So you're going to learn how to create woodworking projects and figure out what to create. You'll have a marketing Miniday when you go out and talk to people, and you'll market online. And hey, you may as well market while you're out here on your physical Miniday, buying wood and supplies and tools. Alright? And you have a phone call Miniday where you've separated your phone calls from the rest of these so you can completely focus on these. And not the rest of these and not worry about distraction unless, of course, maybe it's an emergency. Alright? So you set aside your calls. Now that we've set these up, these different Minidays, what we're going to want to do here is, let me save this really quick. call this one Power Thinking. And I'm going to create a new Word document. And we're going to call this one Minidays. Okay. And what we're going to do now is we're going to categorize these different mini days. We're going to take what we've done here and put them on these mini days. So now we've done our power thinking up here, and we've separated these apart into different mini days. What we're going to do here, so I'm just going to copy and paste this whole thing. And put it over here. And now I'm going to minimize this. We have what you call mini days. And this is something that is extremely powerful when it comes to creating projects or the business world or anything that you're looking to accomplish, living your dreams. This is how to manifest things into physical reality. And this is how you put things on a much more intense level, because you're getting 10 times, if there was 10 things in your mini day, you'd be getting 10 times as much done as if you tried to go one at a time from here to here to here to different mini days and disjointed, like what most people have done here before they've categorized these. Because if you think about it, someone writes a list and they say, this is all the stuff we need to do. And they do this, and they do this, and then they do this, and then they do this, and they're all over the place. But if you come in here and you do these two things at once, boom, you got them done. And you got your projects done, boom, you're getting your projects done a whole lot faster and with a whole lot more efficiency, because you're not getting tools and then doing a project and then going back and getting woods and supplies and back to your project. You've got your woods and supplies and your tools, and now you're working on your project. And when you need to educate, you're going to learn on woodworking projects, and then you're going to figure out what to create. You're both it's the same brain waves. You see, so you're getting a whole lot more done. And when you're marketing, that's what you're focused on. Marketing to people. Marketing online. And you're going to add things as it goes along. And you've separated your phone calls. Now, one of the things that's amazing about these mini days is when you're applying the law of attraction, you're going to get a whole lot of ideas, people, situations, and circumstances. So what happens when you go out and meet someone and all of a sudden, okay, I got to call this guy. Well, here you go. Call person I just met. I'm sure he'll put your name down. Just met. Or just call whatever their name is. Call Phil. Or whatever. And maybe you're going to start, putting different numbers in here. Call Phil. How about call certain business? Call old friend. You see what I mean? So what you're doing is you're categorizing all of these, and you're getting all your phone calls done at once, opposed to letting your phone calls interrupt all this other stuff you're doing. And instead of going and, okay, I'm going to educate and then go market and then come back and educate some more, you're getting it all done and you're increasing your efficiency. I don't know why this text looks funny. Oh, I know why. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So you're getting all these things done all in one segment. And that's increasing your productivity. And it was in the exact same way when Henry Ford invented the assembly line. When Henry Ford invented the assembly line, they would go put a windshield on. Or before they did, excuse me. They'd go put a windshield on, and then they put the tires on, and they put the wheel on, or the steering wheel on. And everybody said only millionaires are going to be able to afford cars. Well, Henry Ford came along and he said no. He said put 100 windshields on, and he said put 100 steering wheels on, and he said put 100 tires on at once. And then all of a sudden, when he did that, everybody was driving vehicles, and everybody had jobs. Okay, so what this is something very powerful, and this is something that increases your productivity and what you're doing. Just I swear 100-fold or more. Okay, this is very, very important thing. Something like it's very extreme. It's increasing your productivity a lot, and it's a very, very powerful thing. So you're producing 100 vehicles instead of one at a time, 100 at a time almost, instead of one at a time. And the powerful thing about this is that when you're applying the law of attraction and say, "Oh, I just got an idea. I need to get a power saw or something, or a bandsaw, or maybe." It goes right into your Minidays, so that you're not forgetting anything, and you don't have to go and, oh my gosh, I have to go back to the store after you're working on your project because you've already taken care of your physical Miniday. You've done your power thinking and you've set up your Minidays, and as you're applying the law of attraction and you're getting these people's ideas, people, situations, and circumstances, they're going right in your Minidays. Education, research Miniday. You come across a seminar. Okay? Maybe you want to go to a woodworking seminar. You know? There's a lot of different things that'll happen, and depending on what you're into, these Minidays are going to be different. You know, if you're into science or teaching, obviously this is going to be set up differently than woodworking. But your basic Minidays are going to be the same. You're going to have your physical Minidays, you know, whereas here it's you're getting tools and buying wood and supplies and bandsaws, and you're out and about. Well, you might have to go get some supplies for the lab, right? And go find the periodic table or whatever and set that up. Same with teaching. You know, if you're working on your projects, well, maybe you're working on lectures, and that's your lecture Miniday. Okay? So it's going to be different for everybody. But basically what you want to do, they're kind of the same categories almost. You want to just categorize these according to whatever it is that you're doing. Science, teaching, woodworking. I mean, even writing a book. You could set up a reading day, Miniday, and a writing Miniday. A man named Jack London did that and he was a crude dock worker. and he set up 2 mini days after work. He was illiterate, and those 2 mini days, reading and writing, he was able to learn to read and write and became the highest paid author of all time. Okay? And it's really that simple, but I think a lot of times when we're not organized, we overcomplicate things and we're all over the place. But when you take these things and organize them, okay, take all these things and organize these and put them into these mini days, it puts you in control of your life. It puts you in control of everything. Alright, so you're not all over the place. You're in control of it. You're on top of it. And when more things come into your life, as law of attraction, that's how life is. You just put them in here. You know, and then when these exciting ideas come in, you know, you can use these mini days to handle things that catch you by surprise, or handle things that excite you. Like, I got a new marketing idea. Set up a banner or something. Or something. You know, it could be anything. And with your mini days, you're able to handle it. Okay, so that's kind of how this works. And what you're going to want to do is do your power thinking and think of all the things that you need to accomplish. Think of the project that you're working on one at a time. If you have multiple projects, just think of the one at a time. All right? And put your numbers. Put everything down that you can think of, and then categorize them into these different numbers. And once you're done categorizing them into these different numbers, separate them into these mini days. Alright, so you have different ones. See, here we have physical mini day, projects, education and research, marketing, phone calls. Those are all our different mini days. And now instead of doing this and being all over the place, you've got it under control. And you're ready to bring in more things. And just knock them out. Knock them out. You're not overwhelmed anymore with this. You're on top of it. Especially when it comes to law of attraction. Now there's one more thing here. Which it kind of is the law of attraction, really, because with the power thinking, you're visualizing your project and thinking about what you want. And this is bringing it in reality, and the law of attraction is just going to keep bringing it in. You know, but with these two combined, the power thinking and the mini days and the law of attraction, it's amazing what you can accomplish. Now, there's one more mini day we're going to add in here. And I know a lot of you, a few of you maybe, or a lot of you might have been thinking about this. How the heck am I going to afford all this? Well, maybe you don't have the money to invest in your stuff. Right? And then maybe that you need income. How am I going to work around my job? Let me show you how. What you're going to want to do here is put in income mini day. Right? And with this income mini day, maybe you already have a job. Maybe you don't. But one way or another, you're going to need income. So how are you going to do that? Let's say you don't have a job. Well, you're going to have to find a job. You're going to have to go to Indeed. Maybe go to Indeed.com and look. Maybe you're going to have to create a resume. Right? And maybe you'll have to do these things to get a job and to get some income going. But that's one of the main things you want to do. So what you're going to want to do here is look at all these things, or maybe you're going to have to go out and look for a job. I guess that goes with find a job. How about let's just go out and look. That's pretty effective for a lot of people. So Indeed, creating a resume. Okay, maybe you need to learn how to create a cover page. Okay, and that's all something that would go under your income mini day. Now let's say you have a job and maybe you need to get some extra money for your project. Now this could be a tough one, or it couldn't. You could look into different ways. Find extra money. Or maybe if you have a job already, you could look into getting a roommate. And that would give you $400 extra a month to buy your supplies for your science or your woodworking or whatever it is that you're into or whatever it is you're looking to do. Okay? So make sure to get your income mini day on here. Obviously, most of you are going to have to work and survive. Right? And you're going to have an income mini day. But the interesting thing about an income mini day and these power thinking, let's go ahead and save this. And this power thinking is that it makes it so easy to put these things work around your schedule. Right? Now that you're not all over the place and going from one place to next, you can easily integrate these mini days all around your schedule. So let's see here. I'm going to need to find a calendar. I don't know if I have a calendar in here. Yeah, there we go. Calendar. So now that you've set up your mini days and you've set up your projects, and you've power thought your project with power thinking, and you've categorized them into these different mini days, right? What you're going to want to do now is pull out your calendar. And let's say you probably want to do this on your phone. Most people will want to do this on your phone. Or going to be doing this on their phones. But let's say it's your phone or whatever your calendar is. And you have all these different mini days. Right? Let's go in here and say Monday. Let's create a new event. And say you got to work from 9 to 5. Let's call this your income mini day. No. Okay. 426. There we go. 9 to 5. Right? And now you got your income mini day on Monday from 9 to 5. But you get off work at 5 o'clock, right? Maybe you get home at 6. And you need to come in here. And now you have a, better yet, on the way home, you get off at 5. Why don't you just schedule 5 to 6 for your physical mini day? Right? And you can come in here 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Let's give yourself a little bit of time to get home. 7. You have a physical mini day. Oh, put a Y in there. Right now you have your income mini day, but when you get off work, you have your physical mini day. Your income mini day is when you go to work. Now you have a physical mini day. And on the way home from work, you get your tools, buy your wooden supplies with your bandsaw. Okay? But now you got home. Maybe you'll got some food on the way home or have dinner. and it's 7 o'clock now. But you still have time. Maybe you got home by 7. Maybe it was 8 o'clock, depending on what you're doing or what your time frame was. But you still have time for your project. Miniday. Right? And it's 7. Let's say you got home by 7. You made it in time, or maybe even a little before, or maybe you ate dinner and it's 8 o'clock now. From 8 to maybe 10, or maybe even 11, you're going to work on your project. Okay, so we got our project down here. It says one more. Okay, so we're going to pull up our project Miniday. So as you can see, what we're doing here, whoops. Wow, that just kind of got... Oh, I guess that'll work. Is we're throwing all these different mini days and we're working them, throwing them into our schedule. And we're working them around our income mini day. Oh, there it is. Income mini day. Oh, the project mini day didn't come out right, so we need to change that. Doesn't go... The project mini day was from... Yep, 5 to 7, so we decided 8 p.m. That's what that was. Okay, so we have our income mini day from 9 to 5. And this could be different for anybody, for all of you guys. You could work a night job or whatever you do. Okay, and you get off at 5, and your physical mini day, you get your supplies on the way home from work. And then when you get home, maybe you have your dinner right in here. And you have your project mini day for the rest of the night until you go to sleep. And you go up and go to work the next day. Right? Well, let's say the next day, notice we didn't do our education. Right? Or our marketing. So the next day you could do the same thing, and maybe you got your supplies and you could add an extra hour in here. So after your income mini day, you could come in here and add an education mini day for a few hours. And let's say you get home at, and you get your dinner again by 8. Or maybe even by, you're done. You come home, you're home by 6. And you have your dinner by 7. And you're ready, you have your dinner, and you're ready by 7 to do a mini day. So you could do a mini day from, let's say, an education mini day. From, let's say, 7 to 9. So it's a couple hours to do an education mini day. Right? And you still have from 9 to 11 or whatever when you go to sleep. Ooh. Whoops. Okay, from 9 to 11 to maybe do a marketing mini day. And you can market online. See what I mean? Or maybe this could be a phone call mini day from 7 to 9. And a marketing mini day or an education from 9 to 11. See what I mean? So let's... I guess that would work better. Maybe do your phone calls from 7 to 9. However you want to set that up. This could be any mini day that you want it to be, and you're in complete control of your life with these mini days, and you're setting this up and controlling your life. So this is going to be however you need to set this up, obviously. So maybe you go home and you get your phone calls. Maybe you only need an hour of phone calls. So you come in here and you get your phone calls from 7, instead of 2 hours of phone calls, it's 7 to 8, because you only have a couple people to call. And that gives you the ability to come in here from 8 all the way to 11. It gives you a nice solid 3 hours to work on education, on an education mini day. Learning about your woodworking. Maybe you took up a college class or something. Or an online class, maybe. Okay? So let's say you work Monday through Friday. And whatever your days off are, now you got Sunday, Saturday on your days off. On your days off, and I could say, by the way, for family people, you could put physical mini days in here with your family and schedule time with your family as well. And that's going to vary and amplify these mini days. So your physical mini day could be spend time with this person, spend time with that person, and you put that in here. And that's going to very amplify your mini days and the time that you spend with your family. And you could even go so far as to, movie with son or wife or something, or both. And that's going to amplify your mini day. You could put that right in a physical mini day. And boom, you got a physical mini day that's on the top of your mini day list. Spend time with your family. Okay. So let's say that, and I bring that up with your family, by the way, because that helps a lot to stay organized with them, and it helps with anticipation and amplify your time with them. So, and it just helps a lot to say, hey, this is when I'm doing this. Dad will be, mom or whatever will be working on project, or I will be until this time, and we should schedule this time, and then it's something really to look forward to. Okay, so and it helps with distraction. Okay, so let's go in here and say you got a day off. Well, now you got 8 extra hours to schedule mini days. And you can get all sorts of stuff done by then. So maybe you'd go in here on Saturday and schedule 3 hours of a physical mini day. And then you'd schedule a lunch or a break or something. And then you'd schedule 3 more hours of a project mini day. Now you're really going. 3 more to research. Maybe a couple to market. And then an hour of phone calls. You've just knocked out massive amounts of work within one day with scheduling all these mini days. Because now you're just blowing through things. You've got your projects that you're working on and your website you're creating, because this is all in the same mind frame. Which means you're working on these with power and intensity. And when you're working on the next thing and move on to the next mini day, you get a break in, get something to eat, or go for a walk or something, and you have your next mini day that you're working on with the same power and intensity, but you're on the same state of mind. So you're not thinking of 2 things at once, and you're not trying to do 2 different things at once. You're knocking out one thing at a time and getting it done. And you're getting it done with intensity. And then you're moving on to the next and getting that done with intensity. Right? And as you're going along with the law of attraction, you're just absorbing everything. You're not getting overwhelmed. If a new person comes into your life, great. I got time for you. Let's give you a call. You give them a call, right? And you say, well, let's schedule a time to meet up. And they go right in here into your physical mini day. Okay, and since you've scheduled your mini days, this is when I'm free. Right? If Saturday you have a physical mini day scheduled for a few hours, you can say, great, I got an hour or 2 for you. Right? And you can put them in these physical mini days and say, sure, I got an hour or 2 or more, whatever you do there. And this is how you control your life. So you're not all over the place with disjointed tasks. You're now in complete control, whereas most of the rest of the world, and believe it or not, the business world no less, I went to school, they're teaching you this. to be all over the place. And you're never going to get anywhere. But when you're doing, instead of just from here to here to here to here to here to here to all over the place, boom, 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 you're here. Knock this out. Knock this out. Knock this out. And then knock this out and this out. And you're not going from here to here to here all over the place. Boom, boom, boom. You're knocking it all out. And you're getting it done. And you're able to breathe. And of course, you have your trusty income Miniday to pay for all of these Minidays and what you need to do for these Minidays in your dream until these Minidays knock out and eliminate this, and it's not necessary anymore to have an income Miniday because you don't need it. These Minidays that you put in your schedule, you went out and bought the tools, you set up the projects, you have your website and your marketing, and now that it's all set up and you're out marketing with your Miniday, these Minidays are going to make enough money for you to quit your job or whatever it is that you had to do to survive. And that's something that's extremely exciting and something you should really, really look forward to. Because if you really think about it, if you got a Monday income Mini, that is 8 hours. Boom, 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 boom. That just blows out your life. You know what I mean? And that takes away from so much of your life. But if you're putting increments in here, and say you get off work, or you work the night job, and you're putting these Minidays before you go to work, you're getting things done. And this is building up. And if you're doing it on your days off and putting these Minidays in here, eventually you're going to have 8 extra hours a day or more. Or whatever it is you're doing, and you can quit this job. And that now you're just living your dream. Now you're just living your dream. Because you've done these Minidays for so long, and long enough, and you've been productive enough that you don't need this anymore. You don't need an income Miniday. You make your own income because you set up these other Minidays. And now that you've knocked all this physical stuff out of the way, these tasks that you needed to do, and the nitty-gritty details, you've got your tools, you've got your wooden supplies, you got your bandsaw. You saw a movie with your son and your wife the other day. Now you can work on your projects and do what you love. You can learn more about them and work on them and go out and market them and just call people that you enjoy, that you're friends, and talk to people and spend time with them and schedule time with them, because now you've knocked out your income Miniday. And now you have 8 extra hours a day to work on your projects and your dream and to spend time with your family and to go out and do what you love to do and to schedule things that you love to do. And it's all because you decided to put these into physical categories, into these different categories, instead of just being all over the place, which is what most people will teach. Get this done. Most people will just do that. They'll just write this down and then do it one at a time. But once you start breaking these up and putting them into your calendar, your schedule, you start getting these things done. And once you start getting these things done and you have your foundation, they start making you money. And once they start making you money, you can quit your income Miniday and start scheduling these extremely enjoyable things that you like to do, which is work on your science, work on your teaching, work on your projects, go talk to people, enjoy time with the people you care about, and pretty much anything else you want to do, because now you're in control of your own world. Anything that comes your way now And when applying the law of attraction, it comes into here. You put it in your mini days, and then you put these mini days into your schedules. And this is how to fully live your dreams. This is how to fully take control of your life. Power think your dreams, your goals, your ambition, and what it's going to take, and create these mini days. And put these mini days around your work schedule. Put them after work. Put them on your days off. And whenever you can work these mini days. And pretty soon these mini days are going to overcome your income mini day. And all of a sudden you can erase this income mini day, and you can quit your job and schedule whatever it is you want to do. And again, if it's an income mini day and you don't have a job, well, you still schedule your income mini day for 5 to 8 hours a day or more, and say go out and look. Go to Indeed, create the resume, create the cover page, and then put in the applications. And then when you do get the job, you have an income mini day. But you still have all these other mini days you've created to add into them. And eventually, they're going to knock out this job. And you are going to be in control of your life. And you're going to be able to take any of these projects you've created and do what you love and put them right into your schedule any day of the week, anytime you want, however you want. And that's going to put you in complete control of your life. And enable you to build whatever dream that you want to build. Okay? And this works beautifully with the law of attraction. Okay, so that's it. We're going to go ahead and end this video now. And go ahead and do this. Set up your power thinking. Do your power thinking. Take your time. Visualize your project. And make it feel vivid, like it's completed. Visualize in your mind if it's already completed. Write down the different tasks, everything you can think of. Okay, whatever category it is that you need to do to accomplish it. Put your different numbers by it. And then categorize those numbers into these mini days. Create different mini days. And once you've created these mini days, put them into your schedule. Work them around your income mini day. And put them into your schedule. And once you start working on these, they're going to overpower long enough your income mini day. And you can get rid of this. And you've quit your job. And now you're free to do whatever you want. And to live your dreams, spend time with your family, and do what you love to do. Okay, so that's it for this training, and we're going to go ahead and end this now. And I really appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch it, and we will see you in the next one.